Today we take on our first ever contract with some hand tools. Have we bitten off more than we can chew? Let's find out and dig in. G'day mates, how's it going? You're on DirtByte. Welcome back to 20th Century Survival. You join me on a nice fresh October morning. Bit of fog about, sort of like, overcast skies. I just want to head out. I haven't had a look at our crop that we planted last time yet. Just want to go and check that out before we do anything else. It's from here, it's looking pretty nice, pretty decent. We will need to think about fertilizing it at some point soon, probably the best. Wow, look at that. There's like one healthy crop of wheat I think we planted. Yes, but definitely need to sort out the pH. It's bad, or the nitrogen's bad in this field. It needs to be a considerable amount more than what's there. And the pH, as we knew the pH was going to be bad anyway. So we just, we're going to live with it this time. And hopefully we'll have a tractor mounted spreader for the next time we need to do lime. We still have a few bales down there to sell, but I'm going to keep all of them for a little bit longer. But I do plan on heading down to that second part of this area that we haven't yet cut. I'm going to whip around quickly, get that cut, and get some bales made. So there's not a great deal left down here. It's only a small piece. But it will still make a few bales. Probably like, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 bales. Which, if we can hang on a little bit longer, we might actually skip forward a month or two in this episode to when we can get the best price for them. There's not going to be a great deal of farming to do in October. We're pretty well running out of things to do. And I'm not going to just hang about and do nothing. We're going to move forward quite quickly while we're expanding until we get to the point where we have got things to do through winter. Once we have some animals, we'll have to look after them. There'll be other things we can do during that period as well. Not sure exactly how far our land goes down here. Let's give a quick look at the map and see if we can tell if we're getting close to our boundary. Yeah, so we're pretty well right on the boundary and pretty much goes square off the end of that road there. So I reckon we're probably going to be pretty much there now. Almost. There's probably a little bit more room there, but let's face it, you don't want to get too close to a boundary, because we might end up with grass and stuff over it that we can't collect. It'll just look all untidy and messy. I actually didn't realize how hilly it was at this end of the field. I thought it was all nice and flat following the road. But unfortunately, no. You can see there it's quite steep right here. So I don't know if we're going to do anything with the bank, whether we need to just like leave it as grass, or whether we can actually cultivate it up. It mightn't be too bad for the hand pushable harvesters, but I don't think that a combine harvester is going to like that at all. So it may end up just being better to leave that piece as just a grass verge, grass bank. All right. Nice. So I'll head up along beside the road now. See how we go. I think I'll be able to actually cut that grass bank for now. I don't think it's going to be too much for this tractor. And then with our pull along little baler, it'll be fine as well. The only issue is, will the tractor have to handle it, because we've got the mower is digging into the ground on one side and it's causing the tractor to bind up. There we go. That seems to be working a lot better. Yeah, nice. Okay. If the tractor can go up this little piece here. Yes, it can. I'm pretty sure that's literally our boundary. So I'm not going to go any further than that. What we are going to do is we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to get into a time lapse, get this field cut and baled. It shouldn't take too long at all. So I'll see you once I've got all the bales done.
The land takes back what we put in, sun and rain and everything. Some days you cleanse, some days you mourn. That's just the way you're reborn. Watch my father work this soil, watched him rest from Cain the toil. Now I'm the one that turns the earth, finding peace in what it's worth. It's all the ground beneath my feet, it's all coming back around. But you lose at what you keep. It's all good ground, it's all good ground. The cattle know when seasons change, they don't fight what they can't range. There's a rhythm that the land will teach, if you're willing to let it be. Some years are plenty, some years are lean. You take the hard with the in-between. Every ending feeds the start, that's the wisdom in my heart. It's all good ground beneath my feet. It's all
Alrighty, there we are. Got another stack of bales. There's quite a few in this field, so that's going to make us a significant amount of money. They're really going to need it because we're not going to have any source of income now until this field in front of us is ready. That's going to be not till the middle of next year. So to continue the expansion, we need to maximize what we can do. So what I thought we'd do is have a quick check at the store to see if there's anything that's come up in the used sales overnight. Just down here, no. So there's only a couple of things in there. None of those things is anything we're wanting to use now. The one thing that I would be interested in trying is getting a spreader for the tractor, because it's something that can be a tedious job. If I can find where it is, yield improvements, here we are. So we've got the little ones we can get, the hand pushable. It's only $300, but it does only 1.4 meters. So I'm thinking something like this Lizard N012 spreader, go on the back of the tractor. I'm assuming that it would fit on the tractor. It is $709. It's more than what we've got at the moment, so we will need to probably take the grass bales that we have got prepared down to the sell point. But I think it might be well worth doing. Like we said, we wanted to do the lime when we could, and if we could get the opportunity to get a spreader now that's actually going to work on this tractor, we'll have to get the lime possibly put onto the field we've already done. I don't know if it's too late now, it may be, but definitely for the part that we haven't planted yet, which will be the spinach come the new year. I think that these bales will go a long way to helping pay and fund for it, while leaving a little bit of money in the bank for other things. If it does fit, then we'll get it. I will probably get some fertilizer first to put into it and come and do the fertilizing, and then we can empty that out and get the lime in and do a test run on the part of the field that's actually got the crop in it, and then we can do the lime on the other part that's just been cultivated up. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the other one that we've just mowed. Obviously we still have to pick up all the bales and sell them, and there's probably going to be at least 2 of these loads I reckon to bring over. So it's something I'll probably do in November, December time, and then we'll consider the future of that part of the field later, whether we extend into it or whether we just leave it as grass to cut for any sort of animals that we do get in the future. If we were to keep it as grass, I would probably still want to rip it up and then replant the grass seed there, so we can actually do the soil testing to absolutely maximize the yields possible from that grass. But we don't have anything yet other than the need to sell. We don't have any animals, so there's no rush to actually do that. All this grass is a little bit of a bonus, a bit of an extra that we are using to help out expand the farm. So here we are, we've got another 6,500 litres of grass, and we should be able to sell that quite easily for another $959 plus 31 environmental score awards, so up to $1,770, which leaves us enough to buy that spreader. If it doesn't fit onto this tractor, we will just sell it back to the store for the same price. I don't see how it could be fair. Like if we went and bought something and the store was like, yeah, no, it's going to fit, and then it doesn't fit or doesn't work, they'll be like, well, it's no harm, you've tried to do it, but yeah, here's your money back, you're not actually buying the item. So it just makes sense as that's what we'll do. So here we are at the store. Let's just bring up that option again. We're in the spreader category anyway, so we just go to this one. I don't think we're going to do anything. We can change the capacity by the looks of it. Actually, we might go for the big one. We don't need any decals. Cover is a safety cover. Yeah, let's go with that. And then the attacher is a standard. So, and it has a trailer. You can get it with a trailer hitch as well. So it may be worth going with that. I think the design color, we've got the drive shaft there, so it might be better if it's in a red to suit that. Looks like it's more of a darker red. That's probably as close as we're going to get. And then the main color, select. That looks pretty good. Let's buy that for $790. And let's just cross our fingers to see if it's actually going to fit onto this tractor. Looks good. It looks like it possibly should do. But yeah, only time will tell. Just slowly ease up on it, make sure I can get lined up. Oh yeah, so it looks like it's going to connect. Actually, look at that. So I was concerned that we didn't have a 3-point linkage, but obviously we do. And it seems to work correctly. It lifts up and down. That means we can get some fertilizer and get into the sprayer. I don't know how much we're going to need to start with. So we'll probably get the hand liftable bags. Oh wow, that's expensive. Well, it looks like we're probably only going to have to afford one set of 5 bags, really. 250 litres. Which I don't think is going to be enough. Oh, we can get 2 of them. Let's get 2. And we've got $20 left in the bank, which is a bit worrying. But like I said, at least we have those other bales up there to help us make some money back. We may need to actually pick some of them up and send them over to the animal dealer today. There we go. Nice. It's about half full. So I should be able to fit. Probably won't fit all these 5 in, but we'll go close hopefully. Yeah, so that's it. And we still have 174 litres in here. And because we have the tray on the front, means we can take the bag back as well as a full spreader load. It looks good. Looks good on the tractor. I think this is going to work out really well. Give way to this car here. Oh, okay. You're letting me go. Thank you. I really hope that the 500 litres of fertilizer we've got is more than enough to do both lots of fields. So the wheat and then the spinach in the next year when we do plant that. Because it's very expensive stuff, obviously. Like, was it nearly spent $1,000 on fertilizer, but in the long run, $1,000 should technically turn into more with the high yield achieved with the fertilizer. So in the end of the day, it is a winning situation, but initially when you're doing the outlay, it's a bit of a worrisome look when you only have $20 in the bank account. The poor old tractor is struggling a little bit with this 500 kilos of weight on. But we got there. Not sure what the working width is of the spreader, but we'll just take a stab in the dark. I'll just go sort of like here somewhere. We should just be able to connect it up. There we go. It should work now. Yeah, that's working. It is. It's not actually using it too quickly. The tractor is struggling a bit going up the hill. I don't know if we're getting quite to the edge there. No, it's getting close, but yeah, the biggest problem is the tractor struggling to run it with the power going to the PTO and then trying to move the tractor up the hill. So you know, lessons learned there is we probably should just go along the hill, not try and go up it, which is fine with me. But yeah, that fertilizer is disappearing relatively quickly, but it is putting a lot on, and it's, yeah, definitely going to make a big difference for this wheat. So what are we putting on? About 600, 700 kilos per hectare. And yeah, there was literally like hardly anything, like 25 kilograms per hectare, and we're, yeah, bumping it way up. All right, turn that off because we don't want to go up the hill. We'll go across. Now, hopefully this is going to be lined up and there's not going to be any overlap, but we're actually going to be able to get it done. And this is the thing about not using a sort of GPS or technology, because it's an old tractor and it's set in an older time, is it's pretty much guesswork. Just assume that just one turn is the width of the spreader, and yeah, away we go. In real life, you probably have to get out and actually check to see how far the granules are going, but I don't think there's that level of detail in this game. So for us, we're just using the mini map on the bottom left hand side of the screen. And I think that's an appropriate thing to use for the substitution of not actually be able to check to see how much fertilizer and how far the fertilizer spreader is spreading from the actual tractor unit. It does seem like it's working all right. Like, we have upped the fertilizer component now quite significantly. There's a little bit of red down here, and then possibly there's the red. Yeah, it's still putting a little bit on. There's the red on the side here, and then there may be the need to do this piece on this end, which it looks like there is. So we're not going to go up, we're going to go up and spin around and come back down. There we go. Let's get in and making sure that the end is covered, and turn that off. We're pretty much completely used up that entire spreader load. So then we had 179 litres in the bags, and we have 184 litres left. So yeah, luckily it had enough. Obviously we're not going to have enough for the other part of the field as well, which is unfortunate, but by the time we actually ready to do that, it's going to be another few months have passed, and they're probably going to have more money in the bank, although it may be limited because of our limited ability to actually earn money before we harvest. What I'm going to do is I'll just put the rest of the fertilizer. Actually, I was going to put the rest of the fertilizer into the hopper, but I've realized that we're actually going to put some lime in. So when I keep the fertilizer separate, I'm just going to empty out the 10 kilos of lime and put it to a shed around here. No shed. Yeah, so we just have to empty out the 10 kilograms of fertilizer to put the lime in when we're ready. But I think to be able to afford the lime, we're going to have to do a load of bales. I don't know if it was a good idea to get the spreader at this point. It was quite expensive. We could have got a cheaper one and would have had less working width, but was able to get in and get the job done quite quickly, which may have a benefit. And that way we can spend more time doing other items and earning money other ways. We can do contracts. That might be a possibility, is using the fertilizer spreader to do a contract or two. But for that, we will have to buy the fertilizer outright, and then we get paid back through the contract. So we need the money to have to do that anyway. Before we get started on this loading too much, I'm actually going to have a look at the contracts to see if there is anything that we could do with the spreader. Just trying to find one of the contract list is here. So we have got cultivating. And that's something we possibly could do. We have got the plough, and number 6 is right next to us. It is 0.49 of a hectare, $1,200. Actually, that might be a good opportunity to do. I think if we do ones close to us, so I'm going to accept this contract from Katie, and we'll get our own. Oh, we've got a plough, but it does the same job. Oh, there's a ploughing one as well, but that's 83. That's a bit far away. There's spraying, but there's no harvesting at this point. That field over there is the one that we've got to do the contract on. So before I do this load, I'm going to actually jump in, turn the tractor off, and we'll go and get the plough, which I think is over yonder here. Take it over to field 6 and get started on it. I actually don't think it's going to take too long. That field doesn't look much bigger than what this field is, and we got this done pretty quickly. The biggest thing about this is actually taking the plough over there. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll jump into a time lapse of getting that field over there ready for Katie. So we'll see you over there. All right, so I've tried to do the plough, but maybe because it's a plough and not a cultivator, it is bringing up the error message that we don't have access to this land. So I was going to get the hand pushable cultivator anyway, but we do need a bit more money for that. So I'm going to chuck a few bales on, not too many, maybe like 10, something like that. Leave that there. You chuck a few bales on, then we'll head down, sell them. I'll grab the cultivator, and then we'll actually get into it. Hopefully that will work. We'll just have to get the plans to use our hand tools for the items for doing contracts. So hopefully that's not the case, because I would absolutely love to be able to do some contracts, especially with the hand tools, like make the most of them, because hopefully it won't be too long before we actually get a significant amount of money. Well, it's going to take a little while, but we can start getting some bigger machines that actually have an engine, and I'm not the engine. So that would be something to look forward to, and I want to get the most out of the hand tools while we've got them. I think that just one load should be enough, like one layer on here, which should be about 7 or 8 bales, depending on how well I stack them. I can move this one over. Put that there, grab this one. Just slide that one across. Yeah, I think 8 bales should be more than enough to be able to afford the $300 for the cultivator. It will be good to have both of them, because we don't need to plough every time. We've already ploughed up the section of field there, so we can just cultivate it next time. Grab one of these up here. Even though we're taking a few, there's still quite a few left in this field. I think that's going to be a good money maker for us for the next couple of months. And especially if we can get the stuff to start doing some of these contracts, I'll be one very happy camper. To drop this end, I thought we might take a little trip down through the this farmyard here. I think there's maybe a little bit of a track, yep, down past the field. We're hopefully going to cultivate soon. I would absolutely love to buy this farmyard here soon. We've actually got a silo for storing our goods. I think that's an dairy cattle enclosure. We've got the shed as well. At the moment, just putting all the item and equipment around our little house. So it would be nice to have it tied up, but we've got a little ways to go yet. This is the field that we hopefully will be cultivating. It does seem pretty big, but I do think that, you know, a good decent length time lapse will get most of it done. And it's a good $1,200 too. It's a really good way of making some nice, I won't say easy, because it's going to be, you know, quite a bit of work, but some nice cash other than just selling some grass bales. We can consider doing other things around that, but I'm also conscious of the fact that if it's not in this general vicinity, then we're going to have to literally walk a long way with our hand pushable items, which could become very tedious and take away from the fact that, you know, we might be earning a certain amount of money, but if it takes us a long time to get there and then a long time to do the job, it may not be worth it. We may just be better off to move on and work on our own farm instead. We've got 4,000 litres here, so yeah, I'm confident this will be more than enough to get the $300 cultivator. What I'll do is we'll cut out. I'll see you over at the sell point, and then I'll be able to buy it hopefully, and then get on with that field like I had originally planned. Alrighty, here we are, wheeling in again for our second load of this episode. And we've got, yep, 591 and 19, so up to 631. I'm just going to shut the tractor off here, and we're just going to go straight in and find our cultivator. So here it is. It's a hand cultivator. It's actually only $200, so that's really good. I'm going to change the handle color, but make this one red, so we can tell the difference because they pretty much look the same. But yeah, we can tell the difference now. Cultivator equals red and plough equals green. It was $20 to change the color, but I think it will be worth it in the long run. Let's just tab over to it, fire it up the invisible engine, and head over to field 6. Again, it's going to take me a little while to get there, so what I'll do is I'm just going to cut this bit out. I'll meet you over there. Got my fingers, my toes crossed that we'll be able to actually use this to complete the task, to complete the contract. I did notice that there were a couple of cultivators in the store that like would be rear mounted. One of them is about $800. So I don't know whether it'd be worth to actually use the future profits of the contract to go and buy an $800 cultivator. But let's just go and give this one a test first. I'd prefer to use their hand tools like I said. So yeah, meet you over there. Alright, here we are. Here's the moment of truth. Oh yeah, perfect. It's going to work. So it was that the other one was classed as a plough, and they're asking for cultivation. So yeah, nice. I'm glad this is working. It's going to make $1,000 profit from this even after buying the cultivator. It's just going to take some time to get done. We've got plenty of time. There's no rush. Even if we have to cut out of this, go and do some bale loading or something for a little while and then come back to it, we've got all day of October. Then yeah, we'll get it all done by the end of the episode. That's a given. Make sure we get that $1,200 before we finish up. And then yeah, nice, exciting. All right, so I'm going to cut into a time lapse. So sit back and relax. And yeah, I'll see you. We won't get it all done, but I'll see you in a good few minutes. Well, have a look at this. We're up to 99%. It was actually going so well. Actually, there we go. Done. Contract completed. And there was quite a bit of a leeway in this field. You can see there's the bits we didn't get done, but that's all right. It says we're all good. I decided just to keep going, keep ploughing on. I think the time is probably going to be a little bit longer than standard, but not too much. And we were going so well, I was like, yeah, I'll just finish, the last 10% off camera. which is what we've done. So yeah, I can collect that reward now. So probably a bit of quick autosave. And then we can go in here, collect $1,237. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Now there's other options, like we've got field 16, we've got field 68, but like I said, they're quite a ways away. I think that we should just try and focus on the ones around this area to start with doing contracts in. I really would like to buy field 6. It's really close to home. It'd be ideal if we did get this block next to us. So while we're pushing this back up the road, I'm going to have a quick look to see how much it would cost to get that field. So farmland 6 is $34,000. So it's not too bad. Like, it's obviously out of reach at the moment with our 1600, but yeah, not too bad. Field 8 would also be really nice, but that's up at 64,000. And then yeah, farmland 7 is 54,000. So between 6 and 7 would be one of my first choices. I thought I'd just have a quick look around. This does look like it is a cattle farm, but there is no real markings. So I'm assuming that if we were to buy it, then we could probably, like, that would show up. I just would hope that would be the case, because yeah, this would be ideal if this was a cattle farm. Now the options for us, if we were to get this one, is like we can go straight into animal work, but we need to buy the animals. We also need to get the food and everything prepared. So it may be better to go for a field like this over here first before we actually start getting into the animals. So this would give us a good sized field that we can actually use our hand tools on. It didn't take too long. We also have to consider the fact that we do need to buy a harvester for our wheat. Now, obviously we can get that whenever. There's enough money in these bales here, but it's something to be mindful of. I think there's $1,500, and it is critical that we get that and can afford it. So I don't want to go and spend too much more on anything. One thing we do have to do is the lime. So our plan is we're pretty much at the end of today's episode. So I'm going to put this cultivator back, but before we actually scooch on to November or December, I'm going to go and get a hopper full of lime and see if we can get it onto that wheat in the first growth stage. I don't know if we can. It may be something that we, just missed out on, but that was fine. That's how we had planned it. But if the opportunity is there is to try and get it done, you might as well. And then we'll get this part of the field ready with lime for planting, I think, in March with the spinach. So within the next year, we have to buy 2 separate harvesters. Well, they're both $1,500 each, so effectively $3,000 worth of harvesters. Probably have other equipment to buy. We do own this bit of land just here, so if we were to get some sort of chickens or something, it might be a good opportunity to put them in this section here. I think our boundary is pretty much here, just where those shrubs are and where that line of grass is. So let's just have a quick look at that. So yeah, pretty much there's just a little bit more maybe over here that we own too. Yeah, so this is our boundary. So there's a little bit of room here. We might have to get a small chicken shelter, chicken shed in this bigger section with the pasture for them just going out and around right on our boundary. Get a couple hundred chickens in there, get the eggs. So that's probably something we're going to work towards, but we don't have any chicken food yet. We might as well harvest that field over there first. If you're interested to see if we do actually get chicken closure for over here, or how much wheat we get out of this field, and even long term, if we're able to buy the cattle pasture or even field number 6 we've just worked in, please remember to like and subscribe. And for now, remember to keep your boots dirty and your bites clean. And I'll catch you next time on DirtByte.